Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Adeni Ishunoike, and in this video, I'll be walking you through how I transform my basement into an ideal relaxation spot. In this video, I'll be taking you behind the scenes so you get to see my process from conception to execution. So why did I start a YouTube channel? So back in 2020 when the pandemic initially started, there was a trend of a lot of people picking up new hobbies during the lockdown period. I naturally love the art of storytelling and filmmaking, so I picked up videography. And over the past couple months, I've been learning about lenses, cameras, lights, film techniques, and all of all that good stuff. So I'm just looking for a space to put all that into practice, and that's the reason for being more intentional with this YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm going to kick this off with some context about the basement.
So last year we bought a house and we're lucky to get a house that had a finished basement, which was a great foundation to kick off this remodeling project. So this footage was from when we bought the house last year, and the previous owners had vinyl flooring in the basement. For the most part, vinyl floors hold up pretty well over time, but for some reason, the vinyl floors we made at the new house was kind of falling apart. So the first course of action was to install new floors in the basement. Right after installing new floors, I thought a rug would look good in the living area of the basement. And we had this rug that we brought from the old house. Problem was, we had the rug in the shed for a while. We also had a skunk situation in the shed at some point. So I wanted to make sure the rug was really clean before using it in the basement. So I got a carpet cleaner from Walmart and just went to town on that rug. And then I just set it out to dry after. So the next thing I did was just to take down all the decor left behind by the previous owners. With all the foundational stuff out of the way, it was time to design what this space would actually look like. I'm a visual person, so it was really crucial for me to be able to visualize what this space would look like. So the first thing I did was to create a 3D floor plan of the basement. I had an idea of what I wanted the basement to look like, but I also wanted it to look good. To get the most out of the space that I had, I wanted to draw inspiration from people that have done something similar in the past. Here's why this step is crucial to my process. Well, I'm a full-time product designer. For those that might not be familiar with what product design is, product design is simply designing digital products that not only look good but are also functional. Product design essentially solves a problem for the customer and provides value to them. And the crucial process in product design is doing some research on what users are used to and comfortable with. Because even though you want your product to be unique and you want your product to stand out, you also need to be careful so you balance that experience with something that your customers are already familiar with, just so they're not struggling with the product. In my mind, the same thing applies to designing a space. Because depending on the type of vibe you're looking for, as well as your budget, it makes sense to look at what other people have done and get inspiration from that work. Pinterest is usually my go-to app to find inspiration for interior design. Typically, I'd create a board and then pin ideas that I like to that board. A lot of the times, you would notice that my final designs usually reflect pieces of the ideas that I had pinned in that board. Once I settle on a specific direction, again, it's important for me to put it together visually. This stage took a decent chunk of time just because of all the iterations that I had to make. But once I was satisfied with the design, it was time to start purchasing all the items that I'd need in the basement. So one of the first items that I got was a couch from Bob's Furnitures. This specific couch is called an Avenger Power Reclining Sofa, and it's one of my favorite items in the basement. Aside from the fact that the couch is super comfy, I absolutely love the fact that the couch reclines at the push of a button. I also love that the couch has a drop-down middle seat with 2 cup holders. This couch also has a USB port that comes in handy when my phone needs a quick charge. Next item on the list was a TV. Can't really say you're designing a home movie theater without a TV. So this was the most important item to get in the basement. I went back and forth on a few options, but I ended up getting a TV that I was really satisfied with. So I ended up getting an 85-inch Sony Bravia 4K LED Smart Google TV. Okay, that was a mouthful. There are a lot of things I love about this TV, but the size was really something that I absolutely appreciated. It just fit perfectly in the middle of the living area of the basement. Getting a Sony TV was deliberate, mainly because I have a PlayStation 5 and I wanted to be consistent with the devices that I was going to be using in the basement. But it was a really pleasant surprise to experience how both of them worked well with each other. Just cause they're both Sony devices, I only need to press the PS button on the controller and that turns on the TV and the PlayStation. That just saves me the extra step of having to use the TV remote to turn on the TV separately. All I need to do is just press one button and in a few seconds I'm gaming. A lot of folks might not care about that detail, but that's what makes it a great experience for me personally. And with the Sony X1 4K HDR processor and a 120Hz refresh rate, I'm getting sharp and butter smooth footage for video games and movies. To keep the wires out of sight, I used a simple cord cover that I found off of Amazon, and I painted it with the same color as the wall just to try to blend it in a little bit. Another item I had to get was a TV stand. I never really planned for the TV to go on the TV stand just because I knew that the TV was going to go up on the wall, but I knew that I needed something to put the PlayStation and all the other items on, so it made sense to get a TV stand. While having a big screen and a comfortable seating arrangement is essential, without great sound, your movie watching or gaming experience may fall flat. Not only does sound enhance the overall experience, it's also immersive, so it makes you feel like you're right in the middle of the action. Even though it was important to get a good speaker, I didn't want to go too crazy on the speaker of choice. I wanted something quality, but not something that would make the floors vibrate. I did some research on a few options, and eventually landed on these sound bars that I found off of Amazon. These sound bars had great reviews, and the price wasn't too crazy, and I really love the sound quality. As you know, staying active and getting regular exercise is crucial for overall physical and mental well-being, and I've always wanted to have a dedicated space to exercise at home, mainly because it's convenient. So, I got a treadmill. Some people may find treadmill workouts to be boring, which might eventually lead to a lack of motivation to continue using the treadmill. But it's important to remember that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to fitness, and what works for one person may not work for another. The most important thing is to find a form of exercise that you enjoy and helps you achieve your health and fitness goals. And this treadmill gets the job done. And I plan to add more fitness equipment in the future as the space allows. With everything else all said, I noticed some parts of the basement could use some love. And first up on that list were the baseboards. A good number of the baseboards in the basement had stains on them, so I decided to just give them all a fresh coat of paint. It's giving peeling the plastic off a new iPhone. Another thing that stuck out like a sore thumb were the lally columns. They were covered in a weird black material, and the color also did not work with the type of aesthetic I was going for, so I chose to conceal them with a pole wrap. To ensure a more cohesive look, I spray painted the pole wrap to match the colors of the new flooring. After that, I applied some adhesive to the pole wraps and just used them to cover up the lally columns. This actually came out better than I expected, and I just love that it just gives it a nice and modern look. One thing I love about movie posters at the movie theater is that they essentially capture the essence of that movie, and they also create an atmosphere that sets the tone for the entire experience, and I wanted something similar in the basement. And since I'm a huge movie fan, I wanted posters of my favorite movies of all time in the basement. Another thing I thought would be a nice touch was a pretty standard LED light that I found on Amazon. This LED light also comes with a remote to turn it on or off. This has been quite the process, so let's see how it all came together. And there you have it, folks.
Overall, I'd say a lot went into remodeling this basement, a lot of time, effort, research. For myself and the fam, absolutely love our new spot, and we spend a lot of time here. If this is the type of content that interests you, please consider subscribing. And that's about it for me. Thank you for spending your time here with me today. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.